With another MLS season in the books, teams are already preparing for 2018. Just hours after Toronto FC lifted the MLS Cup, the league's trade window opened for a half-day in anticipation of the MLS expansion draft, leading to a flurry of early movement, and clubs have since continued to make waves with blockbuster deals. Goal will keep you up to date on all the latest transfers and trades involving MLS teams this offseason, right here. May 1st, the Lee Nguyen saga with the New England Revolution has finally come to a close. The 31-year-old midfielder was traded to Los Angeles FC on Tuesday in exchange for $700,000 in allocation money, the Revolution announced late Tuesday night. The attacking midfielder had not played a minute for the Revolution this season after holding out of the team's training camp. Read the full story right here on Goal. May 1st, Los Angeles FC have added forward Adama Diomande from Hull City in the English Championship just ahead of the close of the MLS transfer window. 28-year-old Diomande had his best season as a pro under current LAFC boss Bob Bradley when the pair were together at Stabæk in Norway's top division, as the forward scored 17 goals. Diomande then moved to Hull, but had been unable to replicate his success, scoring just 6 times in the championship over his 2.5 seasons there. May 1st, the Colorado Rapids have traded defender Eric Miller and $50,000 in general allocation money to Minnesota United in exchange for Sam Nicholson prior to the close of the MLS transfer window. The Loons land the 25-year-old Minnesota native Miller, who had been a regular starter for the Rapids in the 2 years being acquired from the Montreal Impact in 2016 but had not featured in 2018. The 23-year-old Nicholson had joined the Loons mid-season in 2017 on free from Hearts and has scored twice in his MLS career to this point. March 28, the Houston Dynamo have completed a trade with the Colorado Rapids for defender Jared Watts. Houston gave up $100,000 in targeted allocation money for Watts, who has made 61 starts for the Rapids since being drafted by the club in 2014. Jared is a steady and reliable player who is entering the prime of his career at 26 years old. He provides flexibility to our roster with his ability to play as both a center-back and holding midfielder, said Dynamo Vice President and General Manager Matt Jordan in a team release. He brings an outstanding mentality both on the field and in the locker room every day, which is important for our club, and we are looking forward to integrating him into our group. March 27, Los Angeles FC has signed Portugal youth international Andre Horta from Benfica as a designated player, the MLS expansion site announced Tuesday. The 21-year-old midfielder fills the third and final DP slot on LAFC's roster, joining Carlos Vela and Diego Rossi. Andre is a player we identified quite some time ago as someone we felt would be the right fit for LAFC General Manager John Thorrington said in a news release. We are grateful for the support of ownership, and the acquisition of Andre is yet another statement of the type of club and team we are building. It is rare, if not unprecedented, for a player of his age, pedigree, and options to join MLS, and we know he will make our city and fans proud. Read the full story on Goal. March 23, the LA Galaxy have announced the signing of Swedish striker Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Siggy Schmid's side confirmed the move for the 36-year-old 1 day after Manchester United announced his departure from the club. Read the full story on Goal. March 19, the Montreal Impact have signed Uruguay international Alejandro Silva on a permanent transfer from Argentine club Lanús, the MLS side announced Monday. Montreal used targeted allocation money to secure the 28-year-old attacking midfielder, who has signed a 3-year contract with the club. Read the full story on Goal. March 15, the Colorado Rapids have announced the signing of striker Yannick Boli from Dalian Yifang of the Chinese Super League. The 30-year-old joins on a 1-year deal and was signed using targeted allocation money. Yannick is a very strong addition to our attack, Rapids general manager Padraig Smith said in a club release. He's a natural goal scorer, and his pace and boldness inside the box will help create space for others. We look forward to welcoming him to Colorado. March 4, the LA Galaxy have announced the signing of 15-year-old midfielder Efrain Alvarez as a homegrown player. At 15 years and 258 days, Alvarez becomes the 7th youngest signing in MLS history. Alvarez has represented both the United States and Mexico at the youth international level. March 2, Los Angeles FC has added 2 more players to the roster ahead of the start of the MLS season on Saturday, with the expansion side signing goalkeeper Charlie Leone and midfielder James Murphy. Leone, 25, comes from USL's Orange County Soccer Club and was originally drafted by the Seattle Sounders in 2015. Murray, 20, came up through New Jersey's Players Development Academy and started 19 matches for Sheffield Wednesday's U23 side last season. March 2, the Vancouver Whitecaps have added Crystal Palace midfielder Jordan Much, a veteran with 78 Premier League appearances, to their roster for the 2018 season. Much joins the Canadian club on a one-year loan, having found playing time tough. To combine with Palace, the 26-year-old has played his entire career to this point in the top levels of English soccer, having spent time with Birmingham City, Watford, Cardiff City, and Queen's Park Rangers before joining Palace. Jordan is a top midfielder who has played at the highest level, said Whitecaps coach Carl Robinson in a team release. He's played against the Chelseas, Arsenals, and Manchester Uniteds, and now he wants to prove himself again in a new environment. He likes to get forward, he's full of energy, and he's in the prime of his career. We're delighted to have him here. March 2, the Vancouver Whitecaps have traded Tim Parker to the New York Red Bulls in exchange for Felipe Martins, $500,000 in allocation money and a 2018 international spot. The allocation money received by Vancouver will be split over 2 years, with the club picking up $225,000 of targeted allocation money in 2018, with the club adding $275,000 in TAM in 2019. Read the full story on Goal. Feb. 28, the Philadelphia Union have announced the signing of attacking midfielder Borek Dokal as a designated player from Chinese club Henan Janye. The 29-year-old has professional experience in the Czech Republic, Turkey and Norway in addition to China, and has earned 35 caps for the Czech Republic. When we set out to identify targets for our No. 10 position that would be a good fit within our system and parameters, Borek stood out as a leading candidate from the very beginning. Union Sporting Director Ernie Stewart said in a club release. We believe Borek has the quality to make everyone around him better. Feb. 28, the Chicago Fire have acquired midfielder Tony Tchani from the Vancouver Whitecaps in exchange for $150,000 in targeted allocation money. Tchani, 28, is a Cameroon international and has also represented the New York Red Bulls, Toronto FC and Columbus in his MLS career. Tony is a proven player and winner within MLS. His skill set will be complementary to our current squad and we are pleased to add his talents, Fire president and general manager Nelson Rodriguez said in a club release. Feb. 27, the Seattle Sounders have announced the signing of South Korean international center-back Kim Ki-hee. The 28-year-old joins from China's Shanghai Greenland Shenhua and was signed using targeted allocation money. Kim is a strong, experienced player who we believe will be a good addition to our defense, said Sounders head coach Brian Schmetzer in a team statement. His signing gives us very good options at center-back going forward, and I'm excited to see how he integrates to the squad. Feb. 27, LAFC has added to the club's roster with the signing of 20-year-old Colombian midfielder Eduard Atuesta. The expansion outfit used targeted allocation money to land the midfielder from Independiente Medellin. Eduard is a young midfielder of great versatility and promise who we're confident will have a bright future with LAFC. LAFC general manager John Thorrington said in a team release. We've monitored him at both the league and international level and we believe he has all the right attributes to have an immediate impact with our group. Feb. 24, centre-back Jose Asia has been traded from Orlando City to the Vancouver Whitecaps in exchange for allocation money. Orlando gets targeted allocation money in the amount of $125,000 in 2019 and will add another $100,000 next year if Asia remains on Vancouver's roster. Feb. 23, Toronto FC has confirmed the signing of midfielder Ager Akatex from Athletic Bilbao. The MLS Cup champions used targeted allocation money to add the 24-year-old, with Goal originally reporting the move last week. Ager is a talented midfielder that developed at an historic club in one of the top leagues in the world, Toronto general manager Tim Bezpachenko said in a news release. Ager has both the ability to create as well as finish. He possesses a tremendous work rate along with a great attitude. Feb. 23, the Colorado Rapids have announced the signing of 18-year-old defender Sam Vines as a homegrown player. Vines, who has represented the United States at the U14, U15, U16, U18 and U20 levels, has signed a 3-year contract. Not only is Sam a very talented young player with a bright future, but having come up through our academy system we know firsthand how much effort both he and his family have put into getting to this point, Rapids general manager Padraig Smith said in a club release. February 22, Minnesota United has signed defensive midfielder Luis Fernando from Fluminense on loan for the 2018 season with an option to buy. The 22-year-old Brazilian has experience with Fluminense as well as Slovakian side STK Samorin, where he spent time on loan in 2017. He brings a different element, Minnesota United manager Adrian Heath said in a club release. He is very physically strong and his athleticism can break plays up. His feet are very tidy. So, we're really pleased to bring him in. February 22nd, the Vancouver Whitecaps have announced the signing of veteran MLS right-back Sean Franklin as a free agent. Franklin, 32, has spent 10 seasons in MLS, split between the LA Galaxy and DC United. "I'm glad to be a part of this young and hungry team," Franklin said in a club release. "My experience will help the young guys and I'm looking forward to what we can accomplish this season." Feb. 21, New York City FC has announced the signing of midfielder Ebenezer Afori from VfB Stuttgart. The 22-year-old Ghana international has signed a one-year loan deal with a purchase option at the end of the 2018 season. "I'm really excited to bring in Ebenezer," NYCFC head coach Patrick Vieira told the club's official website. "He's a young player who is looking to improve. He is really dynamic and can cover ground. He's really aggressive, but he's good with the ball too." Feb. 20, longtime Seattle Sounders defender, midfielder Brad Evans has joined Sporting Kansas City on a one-year deal. Evans spent 9 seasons in Seattle, and has amassed 28 goals and 31 assists in 255 career MLS appearances. The 32-year-old has 27 caps for the U.S. men's national team. Feb. 20, Orlando City has announced the signing of center-back Lemine Sane from Werder Bremen. The 30-year-old joins the Lions after spending a season and a half in the Bundesliga, and should help stabilize the club's backline for 2018. Read the full story right here on Goal. February 16, the New York Red Bulls have signed Argentine playmaker Alejandro "Kaku" Romero Gamarra from Club Atlético Huracán. A former Argentina youth international, Gamarra joins the Red Bulls as the first young designated player in club history. Read the full story right here on Goal. February 14, Toronto FC has announced the signing of 30-year-old goalkeeper Caleb Patterson-Sewell. The Canadian club traded for his MLS rights, sending a 4th-round draft pick to the New York Red Bulls. Patterson-Sewell played for Jacksonville Armada FC in the NASL last year. 13, Toronto FC has announced the signing of 22-year-old Brazilian defender Oro on loan with an option to buy from Sao Paulo FC. Oro is a young and versatile defender that will provide us with flexibility within our lineup, both on the left and right side, said Toronto FC general manager Tim Bezbachenko said in a club release. "We are pleased to bring him in on a loan deal with an option to buy for the future." The defender has represented Brazil at both the U17 and U20 youth levels. Feb. 13, DC United has completed a trade with Atlanta United for the rights to winger Yamil Asad, the two MLS sides announced on Tuesday. Asad spent 2017 on loan from Argentina Superliga club Vélez with the expansion MLS side during its debut season. Read the full story on Goal. February 13, Minnesota United has announced the signing of Cameroon international defender Bertrand Owundi-Akowo on a free transfer from Rainbow FC. The club also recently signed another Cameroonian, France Pangop, and Owundi joins him as part of an off-season push from the club to add more youth. "The thing we've tried to do this off-season is bring in some younger players who we feel have a chance of progressing and being big pieces for us moving forward," said manager Adrian Heath in a team statement. "For what we've got these kids for salary-wise, what we've had to give up, we think we've done really well. We're excited about what we've got with him and Pangop. We felt it wasn't a gamble, but an opportunity to bring in 2 young pieces for not a lot of financial output that we think have got huge upside." Feb. 12, FC Dallas has announced the acquisition of Santiago Mosquera as a young designated player. Mosquera, 23, joins from Colombian First Division side Millonarios FC, and can play multiple positions across midfield. Read the full story on Goal. Feb. 9, the Portland Timbers have acquired forward Samuel Armenteros from Serie A side Benevento. Armenteros, 27, joins on loan for the 2018 campaign with an option to buy. The Swedish international has also played in the Netherlands with Heracles, for Belgian Power Anderlecht and with Karabag FK of the Azerbaijan Premier League. 9, the New England Revolution have added defensive depth by signing Jalil Anababa and Nicolas Samayoa, who were both in camp as trialists. Anababa, 29, adds a veteran presence and has represented Chicago, Seattle, Sporting Kansas City and Houston in his MLS career. Samayoa, 22, was a fourth-round pick in the 2018 Super Draft after spending 4 seasons at Florida Gulf Coast University. Feb. 8. The Colorado Rapids have completed a trade for Sporting Kansas City goalkeeper Andrew Dykstra. In return, Sporting KC gets Colorado's natural second-round pick in the 2020 MLS Super Draft. Andrew provides us with important depth at the goalkeeping position, said Rapids general manager Padraig Smith in a team release. Alongside Tim Howard and Zach McMath, Andrew joins one of the very best goalkeeping units in Major League Soccer, and we look forward to welcoming him to Colorado. Feb. 7. Real Salt Lake has signed Croatian midfielder Damir Krajlic from Union Berlin using targeted allocation money. The 28-year-old scored 33 goals in 147 matches for the German side over the last 5 seasons. Feb. 7. DC United has landed Jamaica international defender O'Neal Fisher in a trade with the Seattle Sounders. Both clubs confirmed the move, with the Sounders picking up $50,000 in general allocation money in the deal. Feb. 6. Sporting Kansas City has announced the signing of Chilean international midfielder Felipe Gutierrez as a designated player. Gutierrez, 27, joins from La Liga side Real Betis, and has been capped 35 times by his country. Read the full article on Goal. Feb. 6. The Chicago Fire have announced the acquisition of Serbian international Alexander Kataj on loan from La Liga side Deportivo Alaves. The 27-year-old midfielder, who spent a season and a half in Spain, joins with a purchase option at the end of the season. Read the full article on Goal. February 5. Los Angeles FC has announced the signing of Canada international Marc-Anthony Kaye. Goal reported last week that the expansion side was on the verge of acquiring the 23-year-old midfielder from USL side Louisville City, with LAFC confirming the deal Monday. Marc-Anthony is an exciting player who has shown creativity and good football both at Louisville City and at the international level, LAFC coach Bob Bradley said in a news release. He gives our club another talented option as we build our roster for the season. February 2. The Portland Timbers have announced the signing of midfielder Cristian Paredes on loan from Liga MX side Club America. The deal for the 19-year-old central midfielder, who has 1 cap for the Paraguay national team, includes an option to buy. Paredes moved from Paraguay Primera Division side Club Saldo America to Club America in 2017 but made just 2 Copa MX starts for the Liga MX Giants. February 2. The Columbus Crew have signed free agent defensive midfielder Ricardo Clark. Clark, 34, has played 10 of his 13 seasons in MLS with the Houston Dynamo. Clark has received 33 caps for the U.S. national team but has not made an international appearance since 2012. February 2. The New York Red Bulls have signed teenage midfielder Christian Caceres Jr. from Venezuelan First Division side Deportivo La Guaira. Caceres, 18, played 13 games in the Venezuela top division in 2017, scoring 1 goal. Caceres has featured for the Venezuela youth national teams but has yet to receive a senior cap. February 2. Real Salt Lake has announced the signing of midfielder Pablo Ruiz from San Luis of Chile's top division. The 19-year-old played in 10 games in 2017 for San Luis, starting 7. The Argentina-born Ruiz represented his birth nation as a youth international but is set to play for Chile on the senior level. Feb. 2. Orlando City has announced the signing of center-back Amro Tarek on loan with an option to buy from Wadi Degla of the Egyptian Premier League. Tarek, 25, was in his first year with Wadi Degla, making 11 appearances for the club. He spent the previous season with Egyptian side the NPPI club. February 1. Toronto FC has confirmed the signing of right-back Gregory van der Wiel from Italian club Cagliari. The Dutch international has also played for Ajax, PSG and Fenerbahce, and started the 2010 World Cup final for his country. Read the full story on Goal. January 31. Derby County has confirmed that midfielder Johnny Russell will complete a move to Sporting Kansas City. The 27-year-old spent 4.5 seasons at Pride Park Stadium, making 203 appearances and scoring 34 goals. January 31. The New York Red Bulls have signed German midfielder Mark Rutkowski on a season-long loan from sister club Red Bull Salzburg. The 27-year-old spent a season and a half in Austria after moving from German second division side St. Pauli. We are glad to have Mark on board, head coach Jesse Marsch said in a club release. He brings experience to our locker room and can play in different positions within the midfield. He has qualities that we like, a personality that we think fits well within our group. January 30. Atlanta United has announced the signing of veteran right-back Sal Zizzo as a free agent. Zizzo, 30, spent the last 3 seasons with the New York Red Bulls and has made more than 160 career MLS appearances. January 30th, the Seattle Sounders made use of TAM to bring in Norwegian attacking midfielder Magnus Wolff Eikrem. Eikrem spent the last 3 seasons with Malmo and is considered primarily an attacking midfielder. The 27-year-old spent time in the Manchester United youth system and has experience with the likes of Cardiff City and Heerenveen. January 30th, Carlos Carmona has left Atlanta United, with the club selling the midfielder to Chilean side Colo-Colo. The MLS outfit announced on Tuesday. The 30-year-old signed with the MLS side last February and made 30 league starts for the expansion team in 2017. While Carmona is gone, Atlanta did sign free agent right-back Sal Zizzo. Read the full story here. January 30th, Orlando City has announced the acquisition of midfielder Oriol Rosell from Portuguese side Sporting CP. In order to sign Rosell, Orlando sent $400,000 in targeted allocation money to FC Dallas to move up to the No. 1 spot in the allocation order. Read the full story on Goal. January 30th, Sal Lauren has finally completed his move from Orlando City to Besiktas after a drawn-out saga. The 22-year-old striker initially underwent a physical with the Turkish side against Orlando City's wishes, but the clubs have now come to an agreement over a transfer for the Canada international. Read the full story on Goal. January 30th, Manchester City has signed Jack Harrison from sister club New York City FC and immediately loaned the winger to Middlesbrough. The 21-year-old England youth international will net NYCFC a $6 million transfer fee in a deal that also includes performance bonuses and a sizable sell-on clause. Read the full story on Goal. January 30th, Los Angeles FC has announced the acquisition of Canada international centre-back Dejan Jakovic. The 32-year-old spent 2017 with the New York Cosmos of the NASL. Jakovic made 111 appearances with DC United between 2009 and 2013. January 29th, the Columbus Crew have traded winger Justin Meram to the Orlando City for allocation money and an international roster spot. Columbus receives $750,000 in targeted allocation money and $300,000 in general allocation money. The Crew will also receive a 2019 international player slot from Orlando. Read the full story on Goal. January 29th, the Colorado Rapids have signed Scottish defender Danny Wilson from Rangers. A 26-year-old centre-back, Wilson joins former Ipswich Town defender Tommy Smith in headlining an overhauled Rapids defence entering the 2018 season. Read the full story on Goal. January 26th, the Columbus Crew have signed Argentina youth international Milton Valenzuela on loan from Newell's Old Boys with an option to buy. Valenzuela, 19, will be classified as a young designated player during the 2018 campaign. Read the full story on Goal. January 26th, the San Jose Earthquakes have announced the signing of 15-year-old midfielder Gilbert Fuentes to a homegrown contact. Fuentes, who has represented the United States at the U15 and U17 level, becomes the second youngest player in MLS, behind Gianluca Busio of Sporting KC. January 25th, Barcelona has secured the signing of 18-year-old attacker Balogun Yves Tabla from the Montreal Impact of Major League Soccer. Balou will join Barcelona B, and has a €25 million release clause that will be bumped up to €75 million should he sign an extension with the club. Read the full story on Goal. January 24th, Houston Dynamo designated player Eric Cubo Torres has been purchased by Pumas, the Liga MX club announced Wednesday. Torres, who turned 25 earlier this month, led the Dynamo in scoring last season, but fell off in the second half of the year and lost his starting spot. The forward, who has 6 Mexico caps, had been linked with Veracruz earlier in the offseason, but has landed in Mexico City to back up Nicolas Castillo. Read the full story on Goal. January 24th, Los Angeles FC has announced the signing of Honduras national team goalkeeper Luis Lopez. The 24-year-old Lopez, who was his national team starter for the 2017 Gold Cup, comes over from Honduran side Real España, where he had spent the past 5 seasons. Lopez will likely battle with expansion draft selection Tyler Miller, also 24, for the number 1 spot. January 24th, the Portland Timbers have signed midfielder Andres Flores and defender Madu Jadama, and resigned defender midfielder Bill Tuiloma. Flores, 27, played 4 seasons under Timbers coach Giovanni Savarese with NASL side New York Cosmos, and Jadama, 23, spent 2017 with USL side Tulsa Roughnecks FC. Tuiloma, 22, joined the Timbers in 2017 and made 11 appearances for T2, the club's USL affiliate. Jan. 23. Toronto FC has resigned Eric Zavaleta, the club announced Tuesday. The defender played 36 times across all competitions for Toronto in 2017. Since joining Toronto FC, Eric has developed into a core member of this team as well as a leader both on and off the field. Toronto general manager Tim Bezbatchenko said in news release, "He has been an important part of our club for the past few years and we are happy to ensure he is back this season as we defend our championships." Zavaleta was originally picked up in a trade with the Seattle Sounders in 2015. January 23, veteran goalkeeper Nick Rimando has inked a new contract with Real Salt Lake that will keep him with the team for a 12th MLS season. Read the full story here. January 23, the Portland Timbers have announced the acquisition of U.S. Youth International midfielder Eric Williamson from D.C. United. Williamson is a DCU Academy product, but did not come to an agreement with his local club on a homegrown contract. Read the full story here. January 23, the Seattle Sounders have loaned winger Aaron Coven to LAFC for the 2018 season. The 24-year-old has made 44 appearances with the Sounders in 4 years with the club. This is an excellent opportunity for Aaron to gain playing experience and further his development as a player with exposure to another club. Sounders general manager Garth Lagerwey said in a team release, "LAFC provides a new, competitive environment for Aaron and we feel this loan benefits all parties." Jan. 23. The New England Revolution have acquired Ecuadorian midfielder forward Christian Pinilla on loan from Pachuca for the 2018 season. New England will retain a purchase option on the 26-year-old for the 2019 season. Pinilla has made more than 200 appearances in his 8-year professional career, which has included stops in Mexico, Brazil and Ecuador. January 22, the Colorado Rapids have signed New Zealand international Tommy Smith from Ipswich Town. A 27-year-old centre-back, Smith has earned 32 caps for New Zealand after representing England at the under-17 and U18 levels. Bringing in someone of Tommy's caliber along the back line was a top priority for us this offseason, Rapids general manager Padraig Smith said in a news release. "His experience and leadership will be great assets for us, and we look forward to him joining us in Arizona this week for the start of pre-season training camp." Jan. 22. The Montreal Impact have signed Algeria international Safir Taider as a designated player on loan from Serie A side Bologna. Read the full story here. Jan. 22. The LA Galaxy have signed U.S. national team winger Chris Pontius as a free agent. Read the full story here. January 22, the Montreal Impact have signed Chilean attacking midfielder Jason Vargas from Universidad Católica. Vargas, 20, has inked a deal through the 2018 season that also includes 2.5 option years. January 20, the Montreal Impact have signed French defender Zakaria Diallo to a 2-year deal. The 31-year-old centre-back, who will help fill the void left by Laurent Ciman's move to Los Angeles FC, was named to the League Two Team of the Year for the 2016-17 campaign with Brest. January 20, the Columbus Crew have acquired U.S. national team forward Gio Cesards and $400,000 in targeted allocation money from the LA Galaxy in exchange for Norway international Ola Kamara. Read the full story here. Jan. 19. Atlanta United has signed 18-year-old Ezequiel Barco from Argentina side Independiente in a record-breaking deal. Barco reportedly cost $15 million, the largest transfer fee ever paid by an MLS club. The Argentina U20 international broke the record set when Toronto FC spent $10 million on Michael Bradley in 2013. Read the full story here. Jan. 19. The Philadelphia Union have acquired attacker David Ockham from the Chicago Fire in a draft day trade. The Fire will receive $1.2 million in allocation money, $300,000 in general and $900,000 in targeted allocation money, making it one of the most expensive deals ever between MLS clubs. Read the full story here. Jan. 19. The Houston Dynamo have acquired El Salvador midfielder Darwin Caron from the San Jose Earthquakes in exchange for $100,000 in general allocation money and $75,000 in targeted allocation money. The 28-year-old has made 76 MLS appearances with Orlando City and San Jose since coming to the league in 2015. Jan. 18. The Philadelphia Union have added Mark McKenzie as a homegrown player, the club announced on Thursday. The 18-year-old played for Wake Forest last season and has experience